It's going to be awesome. Yes, we faded in.
Wow, that's like high-tech production.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
Something special for you. Talking Trash here, Jason Piche here, Gabe Rodriguez there, Brandon Jennings, bob on his head in the middle.
Brandon.
We are ready for some pre-Super Bowl talk. I finally geared myself up. It's taken a couple of weeks, and I'm finally prepared to discuss it.
You needed that bye week more than anyone but Gronkowski, apparently.
Yeah, I think so. And we got the one hot minutes ready to lead off today. I'm interested to hear what you have to say in your opening segment. We discussed it a little bit beforehand. So I want you to lead off. Okay. So give us the one hot minute.
One hot minute. Well, this week we were made privy to two All-Star games. One was actually a game. The other was kind of a spectacle. But that spectacle, which was the Pro Bowl, received so much hype, had bands performing before the game. I mean, it was more like a flag football game. Granted, you had all the stars with the exception of those who are playing in the Super Bowl. But, I mean, it needed to do something about the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl's on major television. It was on NBC, prime time, and it was two-hand touch, flag football, you tell me. It's nothing like the real game. So, I mean, I understand they feel like they need to have that, but it's something that needs to go. Conversely, the NHL All-Star Game was on, which in actuality is a great game. I mean, it's just back and forth, up and down, lots of goals being scored, odd man rushes. It's actually a really, really great game to watch, if you can find it. Because the game's on the channel formerly known as Versus.
Well, it's NBC Sports. I mean,
NBC
it's still all by NBC.
It's still owned by NBC, which is the point. Why doesn't NBC put the game on NBC so the majority of audiences can watch it?
I got to tell you, I did not notice that that's where it was. I just knew to go look for the All-Star Game, and there it was. But you're right, they should have it. I mean, NBC, what a great opportunity to have two All-Star Games on the same day. Should be promoting it together and making it one big full day of sports. But like you said, it ends with a stinker. I know I didn't watch the Pro Bowl because it's opposite the Royal Rumble. I mean, come on.
True.
It's 30 men. It's WrestleMania. The road starts then. How can you compete with the Pro Bowl where guys aren't giving 110%? Let's go ahead and talk about this here, and I'll go do my one hot minute later because Aaron Rodgers is getting in some trouble now for saying some things. He wrote on Twitter.
You mean
about,
for telling the truth?
Right, exactly. And I just want to commend him for having the balls to just come out and say how he felt. I mean, let's be honest. That's why a lot of these guys, they fake an injury or they don't want to go or whatever, and it's sort of like, the game isn't taken seriously. Conversely, the NHL All-Star Game, although there isn't any hitting going on, those guys are all still going out there and displaying their talents to the best of their abilities.
It's a skill game.
Right, it's a skill game, and they're still doing what they need to do to play. And it's fun. It's fun to watch. They had some players mic'd up while they were playing out there. I thought that was a really cool addition to the game. Whereas the NFL Pro Bowl, it's just like, what?
They added the players could tweet during the game.
Yeah, and again, it's like one of those deals where, do you want me to watch the game or do you want me to be looking down at my phone or over at my computer? Keep me involved in the game. Football usually doesn't have to go very far to get people because people like football, and they're going to do whatever they have to do to watch it. So if people are getting turned off to your game when you put all your stars on the field, something's wrong. I mean, I'm not saying it has to mean something like they did with the baseball All-Star Game, which was awful, but it's just not inviting. People don't want to watch it.
Well, and then going back to hockey, they need to market their stars better. I mean, the Sedin brothers, they're like the Winklevi in the social network. I mean, they're just stiff, stale, no personality. I mean,
sometimes good players have no charisma, Gabe.
But that's where marketing comes in.
I'm not going to say you're wrong because the NHL definitely does need to market some more guys out there. Obviously, without Sidney Crosby and Ovechkin in this game, or even at the weekend, it seemed like it lacked that big, massive star power of guys that you knew, and it was left to the shoulders of some other guys. My biggest beef with the NHL All-Star Game is still that they just do this team picking thing.
Right.
I just don't. I don't get it. I don't know why they do it that way. It's not. I get that they're trying to make it look like a pickup game among the All-Stars. But we have East and West conferences for a reason, and there is a little bit of pride that goes on between those conferences. So why don't we just go back to the way it was with the East and West, or even the North American players versus the
world?
The world. I mean, give me something that like the guys want to compete for, other than Team Chara and Team Alfredson, which it's like, who cares? Like, we got a caller. Let's take him right now. Caller, you're on Talking Trash. Go ahead. Hello.
Good evening. Great show. I have a question. What's your view of Tim Thomas being basically not showing up at the White House? It's interesting that Kurt Schilling, who's right of Attila the Hun,
we did.
And respected the presidency and went to the Clinton White House.
Right. We did talk a little bit about it last week, but it bears repeating in my book. Like, I just feel like I understand Tim Thomas wants to make some sort of a statement. I just sort of feel like it's not the time and the place for it. If you don't agree with what's going on there, that's fine. But all the championship teams go, and if everyone else on your team agrees to go, and you're going, then you should. And you're part of that team, you should go. I mean, unless there's something that happened, like, hey, your wife's having a baby, somebody you know is in the hospital, so there's some reason for you to not be there, other than just to make a political statement. It just seems like the incorrect time to. Sorry about that. It just seems like the incorrect time for anybody to be like making some sort of a statement like that, especially when he's such a vital part of the team. This isn't the stick boy or the assistant coach. This is the guy who was the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. So in my book, he's got to go and just suck that up. I mean, and if he goes, he's still going to have a forum where people are going to be asking him about his trip to the White House to then say something. But by not going and making that your statement, it seems weaker to me.
Yeah, he could have put his finger in Obama's face like the governor of Arizona. But I think Tim Thomas made a huge blunder. He's obviously getting a lot of grief for what he did. Tim Thomas, if you're going to make a statement like that, you got to be aware of the consequences and repercussions, because now everyone's saying, well, you wore the Olympic jersey. You represented this country. That would have been a time to make a stand.
Right.
I'm saying, I can't wear this jersey because America's doing A, B, and C wrong. Mm-hmm. Or the president's doing this or that.
Well, so people will make a stand when it's convenient for them, Gabe. And this meant he didn't have to get on a plane and go anywhere. This meant he could just sit still, and that would be his statement. Whereas if he doesn't play on that Olympic team, probably a lot more flack from everybody else. So it's sort of like you pick your spots. I feel like he chose wrong. But, I mean, hey, at least he's making a statement. He's standing by it. He's never been the kind of guy that's cared what anybody thought about him anyway. So I guess he's not really losing out.
Right, and in terms of standing by a statement, I think he should have been more open and receptive to questions from the media. Like, he basically made one statement and then that was it. Mm-hmm. And, didn't open himself up to any more questions or a chance to explain. But then again, he feels like he doesn't have to. So.
Right, yeah. I hope that answers your question, caller. Hello? Oh, we lost him. We lost him a while ago. And my girlfriend's calling me because she has no idea when I do this show.
Oh, my. Communication issues?
Only on her end, Gabe. All right, I want to do my 1 hot minute because it's on something that just happened. Another soccer riot has gone down in Egypt. Over 70 dead right now. And we have talked about it on the show over the many years the show has been on. Why do people feel the need to riot at these soccer games? We have all kinds of sporting events in America, just way too many of them. From pee-wee, high school, professional, semi-pro, all kinds of games. People storm the field all the time. People storm the court after big wins in college basketball at least 40 times a year. That's being considerate. I don't know what the exact fact is, but let's say 40 times. You never hear of anyone dying. I don't even hear about people usually getting hurt in those melees. So why are 70 people dying in a soccer riot in Egypt? What is it about the game of soccer that makes people so angry that people are dying? I don't get it, Gabe, and this is part of the reason that I think America can't latch on to soccer. People are so passionate about it that they will kill other human beings in a riot at a game. It's a sport. Let it be a sport. People shouldn't be losing their lives over it. It's not good. It's a black eye on the sport on the sport of soccer, and it doesn't really need any more in this country. But it should be a wake-up call to the rest of the world not to take all sports, but soccer especially, so seriously. 70 people died, Gabe. It's too many.
I mean, one's too many in terms of dying, especially at what we call just a simple sporting event. But soccer is the most popular sport in the world. A lot of times when soccer's played, it's against, I don't know what the circumstances were in this game, but you have towns where it's innate rivalries. And I know people say like Yankees, Red Sox, there's rivalry. But if you look at the Dodgers and the Giants this year, in baseball, you had the fan who was beaten up, in the Giants fan who was beaten up in LA on kind of obviously a smaller scale. But when you get these towns that all they look forward to is the game, and they put it on, the game matters so much and it's put on a pedestal that people just lose their minds and things like that happen. So I think also it's something we can't relate to, being Americans and having so many freedoms and so many choices, things of that nature. Where
probably
in
is
Egypt, I mean, what more do they have in terms of athletics and sporting events? Yes, they should know better. Yes, it shouldn't come down to that. But I also think we can't put ourselves in their shoes, so to speak.
That's a good cultural point to make, because I just think about, I really do. I mean, I've been in some of those court storming moments. I mean, I've literally been in there in the middle. I mean, if someone fell down, hey, let's get this person up. Like, there's a certain kind of like looking out for your fellow man that happens all the time, and you don't even hear about injuries, let alone deaths. Caller, you're on Talking Trash.
Hey, I was just wondering why you guys talking about like sports when there's other bigger issues in the world, like our American freedoms, human rights, politics. I don't think sports is the most pertinent topic for our society right now, and I feel like you're wasting airspace and time.
Oh, well, that's a good point. But this network, as a matter of fact, has lots of shows just like that all the time. And as far as I know that
it also has a lot of shows about God. And I mean, sports and God are both made up things. I mean,
well, that's your opinion. But I mean, when you're calling in, this is a sports talk show, so we tend to not talk about that other stuff, and we leave that to the other people. So thanks for calling in.
Some may argue politics are made up as well.
Well, there's sometimes with all the different channels there are now, there is a lot of sports channels, and maybe people get annoyed by that. And of course, there are a lot of news channels and stuff like that. If you don't like that stuff, don't watch it. Right now, we're doing a sports show, so that's what we're doing. Let's try another caller. Caller, you're on Talking Trash. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, I think it's. I just listened to the last caller, and I take umbrage with that, because I think you guys do a terrific job, and you talk about issues. Sport is just part of our cultural being and existence, and it's important. And Gabe just made a great point about the issue in Egypt. I don't think that was so much about soccer as the whole Arab Spring, and the fact that there was a venue where you had, a lot of people who might be, there's so much conflict in the Middle East and in the Arab countries between the Shiites and the Sunnis and so on. Who knows what would have precipitated, the riots there. And I think that goes beyond soccer. But again, I think you talk about something that's very integral to our society and very important, and keep doing it. You do a great job.
All right, thanks a lot. We appreciate the support. We'll take it where we can get it. I don't know if we're doing a great job, but hey, we'll take it. We like to think that we're doing the best we can. And we're just talking about sports here. We know it's not that serious. At the end of the day, we all got lives, families. There's bigger, important issues in the world. That's why this is kind of a fun little outlet for us. It's only a half hour out of our week. We just come in, talk some sports, and get it done. If you don't like it, there's plenty of other channels.
Yeah, several.
All right, let's get back on track. I know we only have about 15 minutes left, and we have not touched on the great Super Bowl that you would like to discuss. I know that we are probably one of the only sports shows right now that's on that is not actually coming to you live from Indianapolis, and we are sorry for that, but it's just not in the budget.
Especially since it's 60 degrees out there today. But yeah, Super Bowl. So you needed a bye week, obviously, to get your head around Giants versus Patriots. So now that you have, what are your thoughts?
I still feel the same way, unfortunately. I still don't intend on watching a single second of the game. I'm bored with it. I don't even like seeing the coverage of it. It just seems like, I've seen this already. Like, I've seen it already and I don't care about it. You know what I mean? If it was the first time for it, then maybe I would be like at least interested on some level. I remember seeing just the fourth quarter of the last game, but like had gone out of town and wasn't even around to watch the game. This time, I really just am not going to watch it. Like, that's just my own personal opinion. I feel like the Giants are going to win, and I don't want to watch it. Let's see what this caller has to say. Caller, you're on Talking Trash.
Dude needs to watch some football because Sunday is the Super Bowl, whether how he feels one way or the other. I also want to put out there, all you Patriots fans, it's going to be a repeat of 4 years ago, and the Giants are going to take it.
Well, I don't feel like that guy is definitely wrong, and that's part of the reason I'm not watching.
I hope our caller is right, but the other thing is there's so many small stories in the Super Bowl that you need to watch if you're interested, like the whole Gronkowski deal. Then you're talking about legacies. If Tom Brady wins 4 Super Bowls, him, Montana, Bradshaw, only 3 guys in history to win 4 Super Bowls. Then you have Belichick winning his 4th Super Bowl as well. So now he may go down as possibly the greatest coach of all time with the likes of Bill Walsh and Chuck Noll and Vince Lombardi and guys like that. Then you have Eli Manning. What if Eli wins? You know, it's his 2nd Super Bowl. Now everyone's talking, is he better than his brother and things like that.
No.
But Eli's still young, so if he wins his 2nd one, maybe he gets to 3 or 4 eventually. And Tom Coughlin, people are forgetting, was on the hot seat this year and last year. They don't make the playoffs this year by 1 game.
He should always be on the hot seat. He's a terrible coach. He's so bad. I'm so mad that this team is in, Gabe, because all year long you look at the Giants and you 1 week to the next, you'd be like, I can't pencil them in this week. I don't know. I don't trust them. You start to trust them, then they let you down for a few weeks. And then all of a sudden they need to win the last game of the year to get in. I understand that that's sports and that's part of the whole process. And if it was any other team, like a team that I didn't have any caring wish for, then maybe it'd be like a little okay with me. But for some reason, with the Giants, it disgusts me. That seems to always be their game. And the Patriots are always like sort of like the best team of like, whatever's left. Only the season that the last time they took on the Giants were they a dominant team really going into the playoffs in my book. So it's sort of, and they didn't win. So it's like, I just feel like these are the 2 teams that kind of win when nobody else steps up to get it done. And to be honest with you, I'm sick of seeing it.
But you know, the old adage, like in boxing, where you have to take the championship away from the champ, right? You need to knock out the champion. Giants did that when they took out Green Bay. Like, I don't think anyone handed anything to the Giants per se. Some people might say the Patriots got in through the back door, especially the way the Ravens game ended. But at the end of the day, the Patriots did make that strip in the end zone to save that game-winning touchdown, and which forced a field goal, and which the Ravens missed. So, I mean, even though the Pats didn't do it in as much style as the Giants did, they certainly earned their way in as well.
All right. Well, I got a few odd things that I want to just throw out there. I know Chad Johnson, I refuse to call him by whatever name he decided to change it to. He only caught 1 touchdown during the regular season, and the I don't know exactly what the odds are that he catches one in the Super Bowl, but I think he's going to get one because I think he's a little bit under the radar. He started to get a little bit on it with his mouth this week, but this is a guy that you almost forget's on this team sometimes. That it's kind of ridiculous to think that you have a guy who at one time was wearing Hall of Fame coats and like just going to be the next best receiver in the world. Just gets lost by the wayside in this offense. I mean, Randy Moss was big. Why can't Chad Johnson be a part of it?
I think the rise of Gronkowski and Gonzalez is huge. I mean, Aaron Hernandez is huge for them. So having those 2 tight ends, I mean, it takes him off the field, and then you have Welker, and then you have the security blanket in Deion Branch, who Tom Brady loves for years. So they fit kind of like a glove where Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson, whatever you want to call him, he just came in and never was able to crack that lineup, never was able to build any rapport or chemistry with Brady. So that being said, I mean, you see why the Bengals, all the teams he played with, always underachieved, and now he's on a great team and he can't crack the lineup. So I think it's more of an indictment on him as a player as opposed to the Patriots not really using him.
I don't know. We got another call. This might be setting a record for calls today. Caller, you're on Talking Trash.
Yeah, what do you think the Patriots have to do to beat the Giants, and what do the Giants need to do to beat the Patriots?
I don't know. We will get into that. What do you think that they need to do?
Well, for the Patriots, they obviously have to stop the Giants' pass rush. That's number one. I think the best way for them to do that is go some hurry-up offense, some no-huddle. That way the Giants can stay in a base defense, and then instead of being able to rotate those defensive linemen and keep them fresh, you'll keep them on the field, and then you can if you get like more than 2 first downs out of it, it's going to be really difficult for the Giants to stop them. A problem area for the Giants has been in the red zone. Oftentimes they settle for lots of field goals. If you're going with the assumption that the Patriots are going to put up some points, the Giants need to be more effective in scoring touchdowns in the red zone. So I think that's going to be huge for them. I think the Giants definitely have an advantage at the wide receiver position with the three amigos of Cruz, Nix, and Manningham. So how the Patriots are going to defend that is going to be huge. Also, the X factor, can either team establish a running game? I really think that Ahmad Bradshaw might be the key to the game because Brandon Jacobs isn't going to run outside, and up the middle, the Patriots have Vince Wilfork, who's playing really well.
Yep.
So I'm thinking Bradshaw will be able to break some containment, whereas the Patriots running back by committee with Woodhead, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, I don't know if they'll even get enough touches to mount anything. So,
Right.
I mean, I really like the Giants. I just think the Giants, they will move the ball between the 20s because everyone does against the Patriots, but then the Patriots tend to stiffen. So Giants, if they can get touchdowns in the red zone, I think they'll probably win the game.
I think you're right here. I think for the Giants to win, they just need to come out and play the kind of game they want to play. They keep pressure on Brady. They have all those guys rushing the quarterback. That's really how you get him riled and get him uncomfortable. And if they can do that and keep him off the field as much and they keep their defense fresh as they go forward, then they're going to be in good shape. So I think they need to keep the ball on the field and keep moving it. And even if they have to settle for field goals, as long as their time of possession is high and they're keeping their defense fresh to keep stopping the Patriots, I think that they'll still be okay. So I don't know if they necessarily need to score a ton of touchdowns to win this game because I think their defense is going to be good. In fact, the over-under last time I saw for total points in the game was 55, and I think that's high. I think I'd take the under on that one, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of free money to be throwing around a bet. And I think for the Patriots, obviously, they need to counteract that. They need to find a way to pick up the blitzes, keep the pass rushers out, and let Brady have some time to work his magic. It would be nice if they could develop some sort of a running game early to make them respect it, and that way the defense can't just pin their ears back and come right at them. But like you said, with those guys, I'm not real sure that they can do it. They're going to have to come up with something a little bit different than what they normally do to beat the Giants. So I think that's why a lot of people favor the Giants, because we've seen what they do, and I think that we've seen what the Patriots can do, and that's what we're basing it on. So if the Patriots want to win, they're going to have to show us something new.
Right, and I think what also bodes well for the Giants is their big play capabilities. The Patriots' offense right now is a lot of dink and dunk. And also, I think they'll have to probably do that because Brady can't take too much time holding the ball, or else that'll allow the pass rush to get in there. So Brady's probably going to get rid of the ball.
A lot of quick passes.
Yeah, a lot of quick, short passes, which will mean if they want to score touchdowns, they might have more 9 to 12 play drives. Where the Giants, because they throw the ball deeper, their wide receivers are faster, they're more prone to big plays. The Giants can have those 5 and 6 play drives, those quick hitting drives. So I think the attrition for the Patriots to have about 4 of those long drives, it's going to be really hard against a stout defense like the Giants.
Indeed. My other 2 questions that I have for you is, who do you think has the worst logo here? I know you're a Giants fan, but let's be honest.
Patriots.
That NY
Patriots.
is pretty simple and not really that
Simple.
fun.
It's
and then the
simple.
Patriots
It's
have
safe.
Tiny Elvis.
It's safe. It's safe. Where the Patriots, it's just too much. I like the Steve Grogan Patriot.
Right. The old Patriot seems to be favored by almost everybody that I've run into, with the exception of my girlfriend, who seems to like the new Space Age Tiny Elvis, but I don't know. I don't know what she's thinking there. Her decision making is questionable. She dates me. Let's be honest. Also, I think the commercials are going to be better than the game this year.
I know.
I've heard a lot of hype.
They should be good, and since you don't want to watch the game, you're going to do the opposite of most people, watch the commercials and then go to the bathroom during
I was thinking about actually recording the game on my DVR and then doing the reverse and watching the commercials and then zimming through the game.
And you mentioned you did not have much extra money. in your pocket. But if you did, there's some interesting prop bets this year for the Super Bowl. Okay, so here's some of the more interesting ones we found. Madonna's hair color.
Ooh.
Will it be blonde when she begins the halftime show? What would you say?
I think there's a strong probability because I think that's a lot of who Madonna is, but I think there could be a streak in there. Okay. I don't think it's going to be all blonde. There's going to be some mix.
Okay. So all right, so you go with some blonde.
Maybe a wig. I wouldn't feel safe putting money on it.
Okay.
That's what you're asking.
All right. How about this one? Will Kelly Clarkson bare belly show when she sings the national anthem?
Ooh, I doubt it.
You put $100 down, you get $300 if she shows belly. Ooh. Or you put $300 down to win $100 if you say no belly.
This seems like one of those things, those bets that became made because somebody knows something. So I'm a little skeptical of it. But Kelly Clarkson's not normally the kind of gal that would do that. I know that she's had a little bit of a weight loss recently, apparently. So maybe that's it. But I don't know. I would not bet on it.
You wouldn't touch that one either.
I'm not touching that one.
Okay.
Not where I'm putting money.
Now
down.
let's move to football then. We'll
All
move
right.
to some of the football prop bet. Here's a good one. How many players will throw a pass? The over-under's 2.5. So someone other than one of the starting quarterbacks has to throw a pass.
I might throw some money down on that because I think there's a good opportunity that you could see a fake punt or a pitch and have somebody throw it because like I said, I feel like the Patriots may have to create some new plays or go deep in their existing playbook to get this one out. Yeah, I might take that bet.
So you would go the over,
I would throw some down on that.
All right.
I would take the over. Well, I mean,
Just
you have to take the over. You can't take the under there, can you?
Yeah, you could take the under.
I guess you could take it if you got two with just the quarterbacks throwing.
Two. Yeah.
I feel like someone else is gonna throw one.
Okay.
That's a fun one. I like that one.
All right, we only got 2 minutes, so I'm going to give you two more quick ones.
All right.
Tom Brady touchdown passes or Ray Allen three-pointers?
On that day?
On that day.
Who are the Celtics playing that day?
No clue.
Well, it
it's
kinda
all
matters.
football. It's all football. Who cares about the NBA?
Well, I've got to go Ray Allen three-pointers. He's going to be good for at least 4 or 5, I would figure. Tom Brady's not throwing 4 or 5, is he?
No. And then there's also one, Tom Brady touchdown passes or Boston Bruin goals.
Oh. Nobody's a winner here unless they both get 0. That's tough.
I'd go Bruin
I
goals.
think I'd go
I'd
Bruin
go
goals
Bruin
for sure. They
as
can
well.
every once in a while they can get busy and score 4 or 5 anyway. And I don't think Brady's throwing 4 or 5 against that giant defense. I don't think he has to throw that many for them to win. I think if he threw 3, that'd be good enough.
Yeah, probably.
So I don't know if that's that integral to it, but fun prop bet.
Yeah, so
We're
those
setting
are
money
some
down.
of the, yeah. So if you have some extra cash and don't really care who wins the game,
Right.
here's some prop bets for you.
See, now if I had enough money and was betting on whether Kelly Clarkson's gut was going to make an appearance or not, then maybe I'm in.
They say belly, not gut. Not gut.
All right, well, we are under a minute to go, so we are definitely wrapping it up. You got anything else you want to throw in here before we go away?
Giants 31, Patriots 20.
A bold score prediction from Gabe. I'd like to thank everyone that came out to Gutterson over the last weekend. We had Pink in the Rink, and anybody who donated money or bought a jersey, thanks for doing that. It's a great way to raise money, and it does more than save the boobies. It saves lives of daughters and mothers and grandmothers, so thanks for doing that. We'll be back next week with more Talking Trash. Thanks for coming.